I'm Dave Gray, and this week I learned it's the little things in life. It's making other people happy that truly matters and enriches your own life. Unlike what Craig did to me this week, which just hurt.
I picked one of these films. One.
You picked all of these films.
It's not. I kind of accidentally picked thriller because there's nothing else was ever going to happen in that T category.
You picked
the literal
these films
T category.
And then gave us a list of films. Like, you picked these films. These are all on you, except responsibility. Unlike
I thought my whole Vinegar Syndrome collection would be too daunting, so I was just trying to think of ways to cut it down a bit. And they backfired.
Oh, it is daunting. I've heard about your collection. I've followed along as you've collected it. It's impressive.
I've actually received. I haven't put them up on my shelf yet. I've actually received 3 months worth, 3 boxes, 3 months worth since I announced this. So there might have been a gem in there, and there might have been even worse. Who knows?
Jesus.
Yeah.
How do you even have room for anything else? Isn't your house your furniture is now made of Vinegar Syndrome discs?
I'm just running out. I'm just running out of room for everything else. Everything else just is in piles, and the trash gets the best spot up on the shelves. I don't know what's wrong with me. Hi, I'm Craig. Feel and Joy, living in England, and the films tonight. I just want to say, no matter what I have to say about the quality of the cinema that we watched this week, Vinegar Syndrome do the most incredible job with their preservation and the what do you call it when they their restorations are incredible. Like, I can't be much stronger than. But of all the cult labels, and I'm including Criterion, they are the best, the very best. So the very worst film we've ever seen will look like $1 million bucks. It might not be $1 million bucks once you get down to watching the thing. But they're beautiful. They do incredible work, which is why I like to support them.
That wasn't me.
No, that was me. That I felt that had to be done at that point.
It's true, though. It's true.
It is true. I still felt sad for us. Enough for a sad horn. I don't feel that sad often, but this time I did.
But you do get the sad horn quite often.
I did. Well, yeah. I mean, you've heard about my dating life. Womp 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 womp.
You've seen Craig's Vinegar Syndrome collection. Wait till you see my brain damage films collection. It's awesome. It's so good. I'm Tyler Hosley, and I like Swedish women who wear eye patches.
I think that's actually a fetish we all share. That's actually why this podcast started.
I mean, if they look like Christina Lindbergh, then yes, we should all share that fetish. Every single fucking one of us.
I'm Kevin Matthews, Scottish film fan living in England, and I like the fact that although Craig appreciates the restoration and the care given by Vinegar Syndrome, I watched one of these films on a Blu-ray that I own, 2 of these films on some dubious sites, and one of the films on a site that yet again gave my computer multiple viruses while I tried to make it a much clearer picture for a winking bumhole that didn't need to be in high definition.
Same, but I did that while holding the discs and crying because my PS5's disc drive just gave up the ghost this week.
And this is Raiders of the Podcast.
And yet, this week.
Yeah. It's a mixed bag. I did get a few other things watched this week. Now, I think you watched this one recently, Craig. Smoking Causes Coffin.
Pardon?
is coughing, or was it the Stranger Than Truth thing? It's a Quentin Dupieux movie, and I thought you'd seen
Yes, I did. Smoking causes coughing. Yep, watched that one.
which I really enjoyed. I've watched another couple of his movies recently, and just like he doesn't really miss for me. And I know some of them are much lighter and sillier than others, but they're just really good. Like I watched that, and I watched the second act, which was also really good, and has a great, kind of central quartet at the heart of it. But like I could understand folk checking out the films of Dupieux and being completely put off, but his stuff tends to really work for me. So I like that. It was a little bit lesser, but still fun. The Outrun I watched on Netflix, which is Saoirse Ronan in a tale of a young woman who eventually decides to try and go sober, and I really liked it. I think it has a good representation of the kind of mindset where you're just, why is everyone having a go at you? You're just having fun. You're just young and having fun. What's the problem? And eventually a few too many nights end messily. And you think, yeah, it's like the fun ran out about 2 years ago. Just kept going. That's what the Outrun feels like. And it does it really well. Ronan is as good as she usually is in the main role. It's pretty good stuff, and doesn't necessarily have to be just about someone dealing with the relationship with alcohol. Like it can be about sort of mental health issues and any monkey we have on our back. Really good. On a different tangent, I finally watched Blue Beetle. I kind of really enjoyed it. It's like, I'm not going to say it's a masterpiece, and it is the one superhero movie that everyone should have watched, but I definitely, I had fun with it for a DC movie. It was nice and light and bright. The representation was really good for the characters. It wasn't about anyone threatening to blow up the entire planet, so that's a nice change. Not great, but kind of fun. A couple of scenes had some really good energy, and there was a couple of good soundtrack moments that helped to keep it feeling just light and really good. So yeah, I'm a fan of that one. Saturday night I watched. I'm not going to mention too much about it because Dave's ready with the Saturday Night Live rant. So
I would
say
never do that to you much again often. I already gave it to you. They don't need to hear it.
I like the film. I think it does have a good sort of building momentum and ongoing tension. I like the guy who played Lord Michaels, and I think that people. I like the fact that people seem to be picked based on a sort of essence of the characters, rather than let's get this person who looks exactly like this person. Let's fill them in. So yeah, I thought it was really good. Nicholas Braun has 2 roles in this and is really good in both. And yeah, that's about it. Although if I've watched other stuff, they may have been blocked out by Tyler's favourite butthole in cinema history.
Oh, come on, that is a crowded category.
Yeah, it really is.
I have a list in my phone of just tons of butthole pictures.
Just Tyler's
My
notes.
My favourite winkers.
It's like a fucking colonoscopy list on my phone. Just wait. I just walked in the door from seeing the brand new David Ayer movie, guys. A Working Man. I thought it was great. I mean, there's like tons of biker drug dealers with these chrome skull motorcycle muffler thrones looking like a scene straight from like a white trash Game of Thrones. It's wonderful. All the traffickers are like super flamboyant in these gold chains and grills and these neon silk suits. There's a villain, I'm not even kidding, there's a villain in this who dresses like the fucking Penguin from the Adam West Batman era. It's hilarious. He's got the top hat, the cigarette. It's wonderful. I mean, Jason Statham cracks fucking skulls throughout the whole movie. There's tons of brutal ass violence. It's just David Ayer going full David Ayer in this. I thought it was just Stallone that wrote the script, but David Ayer actually co-wrote this, so it is pretty much just a full-on David Ayer joint. So
he punched it up. It's pretty much close to the book, and about hiding the fact that Stallone, screenwriter and executive producer, is himself a human trafficker.
I've never read the they're called Leave on Trade or something. That's what I've never read the books. I don't know if the traffickers are like all flamboyant in that like this movie is. They kind of reminded me of like the Beekeeper characters. You know how they're all like just super flamboyant, full of neon. That's kind of what I took from that. But that felt like the David Ayer touch. But like I said, I'm not familiar with the source material, but I thought this movie was awesome. It's a typical Jason Statham movie with all the David Ayerisms you can possibly want if you're a fan of David Ayer. But besides that, I watched the entire first season of Dexter: Original Sin, which I thought was pretty damn great. I mean, the casting director of this show deserves some kind of fucking award for this too. I mean, they nailed the casting of these characters. I mean, Patrick Gibson is young Dexter, and Molly Brown is Deb are like uncanny to Michael C. Hall and Jennifer Carpenter. It's like watching young versions of those characters.
I've not watched it, but I've seen clips, and the guy who does Dexter has like the cadence of his voice down, and the body language perfect. It's freaky.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like watching a young Michael C. Hall on screen. It's so weird. And the girl they got to play Deb, I've never heard of her before, but her name is Molly Brown, and it's like watching a young Jennifer Carpenter on screen too. I mean, she nails all the fucking that she throws around because Jennifer Carpenter in that show just likes to swear, and it's fucking hilarious. But she just nails the character, and Christian Slater is great in it. Patrick Dempsey is really good. Christina Milian is really good. The cast is it's so fucking good. And if you guys are fans of Dexter at all, I highly, highly recommend it because it's a really, really good precursor to the original series. And it's a really good prequel. So I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. And that's me.
Right, the first two films I watched this week, I don't necessarily think that they are classy. You know, I like to be classy. I don't think they are necessarily classy, but they were both on Mubi, and I feel like that automatically grants them classy status. So I'm counting them. I'm counting them as classy choices. First one was Grandma, which was a Chinese American crime comedy. About 80-year-old Chinese grandma lost her husband recently, has been left broke, and her discovery of a bag full of dodgy money kind of accidentally starts a Chinatown gang war. That was fun. It's a bit slight because there's definitely room to build on a lot of stuff in there. Especially the grandma is played by, I'm going to mess this up, but Tsai Chin. She's fantastic. She carries the whole film on her shoulders, and she hires a bodyguard at one point, a triad bodyguard named Big Pong, who's just a really sweet giant man baby. And that relationship really could have been built on, and they don't really do enough of that. They just settle for just a cute, fun 90 minutes. Kind of, it's kind of a Chinese American Thelma in a way. Slightly bigger bad guys, but the same sort of deal. And I really enjoy. I could see how it'd be better, but I recommend it. I'm sure Dave would enjoy Lucky Grandma. I don't know if you've seen it, Dave.
I've seen it.
You have. Did you like it?
Yeah, I like it.
It is. It's slight, but
yeah. I mean, but it's a solid Kevin 7.
Yeah, and that's a great central performance. Tsai Chin. I'm going with Tsai Chin because, that's the best I can do. And then the other, and it's classy entry, but movie, so it is classy. I watched, here you go, some more pronunciation gold here. Helene Catet and Bruno Forziani's Let the Corpses Tan. Now, I haven't seen Amer or their other Neo Giallo film, which, what's the title? I know Dave knows.
Yeah, the strange tear. No, the
Strange Colour of Your Body's Tears.
Your Body's Tears. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I haven't seen either of them.
Can never remember the order of it. But yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's a very, giallo title, isn't it? They can be a little confusing. Let the Corpses Tan is they've left the kind of giallo thing behind to do a kind of psychedelic neo-western, and I loved the fuck out of this film. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it anywhere as much as I did. It is story-wise, it's mostly just, a bunch of crooks fighting over some gold in one location and kind of messing each other up. But there's other interesting stuff in there with some of the characters about being a muse, about becoming a part of an artistic milieu, how inspiring people, so on and so forth. The story's interesting, but it's not the meat of Let the Corpses Tan. The meat is the visual side of it, which is absolutely like jaw-dropping, gobsmacking, like holy shit. This is one of the most beautiful looking films that I've seen in a long time, and the cinematography is beautiful. Every element of it is really, really, really stunning looking, but the editing, I don't think I've ever seen editing as incredible as is in this film. I was, the amount of times I had to pause something and rewind it and try and get my head around how some of it was pulled off. There's an incredible scene where a female character puts the heel of a stiletto into the policeman's mouth, and it turns just with a few slight little tricks into the policeman with a gun in his mouth that blows his head off in his psychedelic haze. And it was just a few seconds of absolute genius. I like the film, I like the story, I like the cast, but yeah, I'm gonna watch it over again just for the insane visuals. I know Dave's seen that.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, I think we kind of agreed it's not the best writing wise, but the directors are very, very, very talented people.
Yes. They got a new one coming out this year. I'm hyped for it. I might force you all to watch it when it drops.
You won't have to force me.
Not. Well, I mean, I'll be in. Tyler, Kevin, they'll cry and whine.
Have Tyler and Kevin seen Let the Corpses Tan?
I have not.
No, I wasn't the biggest fan of Amer, which I did see, but I've not seen their other stuff.
Oh,
well, I thought we talked
about. Thought we discussed The Strange Color of Your Body's Tears. It's been a while though, so maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Because let's be honest, everyone in England is the same to me.
I've not seen it, so it definitely wasn't me. But see, I'm tempted to work way back on The Strange Color of Your Body's Tears, but I don't want to ruin the new and exciting love for Let the Corpses Tan. So I'll watch that a couple more times first.
Yes, I have seen The Strange Color of Your Body's Tears. Sorry, I probably
okay.
I liked it about the same as Amer, if at all. According to Letterboxd, I give it like 4 out of 10, and that is all I can go on with my failing memory.
Well, I would recommend Let the Corpses Tan as big a recommend as I can give, but also, you've watched these films that I own this week, so you may choose not to listen to anything I say ever again. One more film. I watched the brand new Shudder film that came out on Friday, The Room of Jenny Penn, which I thought was pretty fantastic. It was, brief synopsis, Jeffrey Rush's character is a judge who suffers a stroke, finds himself in a kind of rehabilitation ward or, stroke old people's home, where the residents are being tormented regularly by a character played by John Lithgow. Really nice to see Geoffrey Rush again. I forget how much I enjoy him. He's pretty much turned into Werner Herzog, but with a Kiwi accent, which is fun. He was great. John Lithgow, who is officially dead to me for being a piece of shit and taking that Harry Potter gig. I enjoyed this, his last ever performance. He was really fantastic. He was fucking an evil piece of shit, but apparently that wasn't much of a stretch for him. So it's a good between those two characters, but there's other stuff as well. There's stuff horror, aging, control, kind of vulnerability more than anything. Every character in this film is vulnerable in their own way, and it causes sorts of friction and horror. And yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it was just really nice to see Geoffrey Rush again, because he used to just be banging out great performances left, right, and centre. And I don't think I've seen him 10-15 years. I don't know if he disappeared for a bit, but yeah, Rule of Jenny Penn is good. Anyone else seen that?
Not yet.
I watched about half an hour of it, and things got in the way, so I enjoyed what I saw and need to get back to it for this week.
All right, that's a good one. I think you'll like it. Dave, I can never tell with you.
Well,
but maybe.
I have issues with Rush. I mean, he did disappear because of he liked to get molesty with his co-stars.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
I see. That's why he vanished for a little while. Okay, well, I missed him, and now I'm again by ignoring him and Gail. God damn it! Why does everybody suck?
Because straight white men
as well.
We are the worst.
I'm really disappointed. Who's the Sean? Nick Frost has now joined the new Harry Potter series, so he is also dead to me, which really kind of hurts. That Danny Butterman is dead to me.
It is John Aston's 95th birthday today, and God bless John Aston.
Oh, yep. He doesn't suck, so
we got John Aston, and that's it.
Yeah.
Decent straight white guys in Hollywood, John Aston, and he lives
Dick Van Dyke.
Oh, Dick Van Dyke. Okay. So we got John Aston, Dick Van Dyke, and they're both...
We're going to lose them fairly soon, but...
Yeah.
Oh, well. But yeah, that's me for the week.
In 1979, Geoffrey Rush co-starred in Waiting for Godot with Mel Gibson.
Wow.
They were roommates during that time. Just sharing.
Wow. I bet they had some interesting chats.
Oh, I'm sure. This week I saw another, not the newest Shudder original, but the previous one, Bloody Axe Wound, which you ever watch a movie and then you finish it and you go, man, I wish I liked that more? That's basically the epitome of Bloody Axe Wound.
I've seen the trailer and it looked really fun. So
yeah, the trailer is really fun. The movie itself, like I like the director's previous film, Uncle Peckerhead, which we covered on this.
Oh, I loved Uncle Peckerhead.
Podcast. Yeah. Loved Uncle Peckerhead. It's a blast. This is just kind of not good. Like, it could have been good. It has like the seed of a good idea and it could have been fun, but it doesn't do anything with anything. And the meta is kind of rehashed, lukewarm. I've seen this a billion times already. So it doesn't land, and it just wastes its opportunity. It's a shame because the cast does their best and they're trying really hard to make it work, and they almost succeed, but the script and everything else is working so hard against them that it kind of falls apart. Which is a shame because it's close to being there and it just doesn't land, and it kind of wastes everybody in the end. And it's a shame. Almost, not quite. Nice try. Does not get a 7 from Dave.
no.
I went to the theater to see one of my favorite movies, something else we've covered before. If I say I'm the meanest, what do you say?
Grinch.
No, it's Show Nuff. Am I the prettiest Show Nuff?
Oh,
am I the baddest mofo low down around this town? Show enough, who am I? I took my niece to see The Last Dragon on the big screen. And do you know what movie I fucking love? The Last Dragon. I fucking love every bit about that movie. It is just so much fun. I adore that the whole cast is great. I absolutely love the Shogun as portrayed by Julius Carey, the late great Julius Carey. I'm always sad when I remember that guy. Was always a fantastic appearance in anything. It's a shame he did not have a stronger career, but you know, it's the U.S. and he was an actor in the 80s and 90s, so the fact that he had half the career he did is a minor miracle in and of itself, because we're kind of awful. Anyway, you should see The Last Dragon if you haven't seen The Last Dragon. It's a blast. I adore Taimak in Vanity. Vanity is gorgeous, and even she knows some of the stuff is terrible. Faith Prince is great in her role. Mike Starr is always... I love Mike Starr. He's always a blast when he shows up and stuff. So it is a cheesy slice of wonderful. I didn't get much else watched because I was busy. I had a very crazy weekend. So without further ado, this week we watched 4 movies from Craig's Vinegar Syndrome collection. We watched the 1973 Swedish rape revenge exploitation film Thriller, A Cruel Picture, the 1973 American exploitation crime film The Candy Snatchers, the 1981 American slasher film Madman, and the 1986 American supernatural slasher Girls' School Screamers. Hey, Tyler?
Yes, sir.
Would you like to pick a movie and tell us about it?
I would love to. I'm going to go with my second favorite movie of the week. I only have 2 movies I like this week, and this is the second one that I liked the most. I'm going with The Candy Snatchers, which is about a nonverbal autistic boy who stumbles upon a teenage heiress who has been kidnapped by a trio of young psychopaths who are intent on extorting diamonds from her stepfather. I am a pretty big Candy Snatchers fan, you guys. I always thought it was a super overlooked piece of 70s low budget crime exploitation. I love the whiplash inducing tonal shifts of being like darkly comedic to super mean spirited. I love that almost every single character is just a reprehensible piece of shit scumbag. I love my scumbags in film, and this totally scratches that itch for my love of cinematic scumbags. Visually, it does look like a TV movie. There's nothing great about it visually. It's like if Last House on the Left was made for television, it would probably look like this. But it's not a problem. I like the cast. I don't have any problems with this cast. I mean, sure, nobody here is amazing or anything, but I think they work just fine for the tone of this particular movie. So I got 0 problems with anybody that was on screen here. I really like the villains in this. I do. I like them. They're not like Last House on the Left, David Hess great, but they're pretty decent overall. I think it's paced really well, and I fucking loved the ending. It is such a good ending. Just, yeah, a totally underrated, grim little gem. And I still got my old 2005 DVD release of it. So after I rewatched it, I pulled a Craig and I ordered the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray. So that should be here soon. But yeah, I am a big fan of Candy Snatchers. Not quite as much as my number 1 movie of the week, but it's close. It's a close second.
I'll go. I like Candy Snatchers less than Tyler. I don't hate it. There are some issues though. Like, trying to think of a good way to phrase it. The cast is not great overall. I'll give credit where it is due. I do think Susan Sinnott, who plays Candy Phillips, tries her absolute best to make it work. I think Vince Mortorano, sorry, buddy, as Eddie does a pretty decent job overall. Tragically, I think Ben Piazza is a little not great in it, and I enjoy Ben in other stuff. He was a solid actor from the '60s who, he's probably best known for being one of the wealthy patrons in the Blues Brothers, whose wife and daughter they asked to buy. He's also in Otto Premiger's "Tell Me That You Love Me, Junie Moon." Just throwing that out there. It's just one of those things where I think there's a lot of good bits that don't totally come together. Like it's a little too heavy-handed with the whole villain reveal, because like Ben Piazza is like an overwhelming, awful creep from the word jump, and it kind of undercuts any narrative momentum to the point that, like, all my notes the second he shows up are about exactly what happens. Tiffany Bowling is absolutely atrocious as Jessie. When she should be the one carrying the film, she is just fucking terrible. I get it, you're a terrible actress who was like really high while making it, but that does not, excuse the terrible performance you give. And it is a terrible performance to the point that she now like generalizes why she tries to justify why she is bad in it in interviews over the years she had attempted, and it's a lie. You're just a shit actor, and own that. I didn't dislike it. I just kind of wish that it had come together a bit better. I love the ending. This is probably, see, now we're going to talk about the endings a lot because the endings are where a lot of these movies live or die.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel this is the best ending of them all. I mean, it's probably also the most depressing ending of them all. And I will say the little boy in it is like, he's really good. I don't know his personal situation, so I don't know if he's acting or if they got a nonverbal child who was just really good in the role. He's played by Christopher Trueblood. I believe the only name they give him is Christoph in the film. I don't think he did anything else, but he and Sinnott are both really good, and they carry what there is to carry. Christoph is the son of Gruden Trueblood, who was a writer on Jaws 3D. He also wrote Candy Snatchers. And he wrote something else we watched. I cannot for the life of me remember. Did we watch Ants once? No, we didn't watch Ants. We watched the other evil ant movie.
We watched Phase 4. What's
right? Phase 4.
Yeah.
He wrote something else that I thought we watched, but I am just. What was the Nazi sexploitation we watched a few years ago?
Oh, which one?
Is that the one with the?
Yeah, you're
with
going
the-
to narrow it down, Dave.
Yeah.
Is that the testicle heist one?
Yes.
The testicle heist.
Which one?
Yes, I think that's the one. I think he did a. I
Gotta
read
narrow
somewhere
it down.
that he worked on that, or maybe I'm getting my Nazi exploitations mixed
It
up,
was
which I could be.
SS Experiment Love Camp, I think it was called.
Yeah. I remember that one.
Yes. Anyway, I read he was connected to that, but I don't have it in front of me to double check. I just remember everyone involved with that movie because I kind of loved and hated it, and it's what killed my last relationship. Really, we then coasted for a couple years after that, but she never forgave me for making her watch that. And what can I say?
My bad.
Tyler.
I
My
should have
bad.
realized. No, that you did me a favor. I just wish I'd had the balls to end it before then. I should have just dumped her immediately if she didn't appreciate that one. Let's be fair; it's a fucking classic, T. Yeah, it doesn't quite land, but I think that they do the best they can. I think maybe if they had a stronger director, or maybe another pass at the script, this could have actually been a really solid 70s exploitation crime thriller, which has a lot of films that we all adore. I just think it just falls just a little short.
Yeah, well, I think I'm more in line with Dave here, but it could have gone either way. I could have been full Tyler with this one. Like, this is way better than I expected it to be, but its failings are still there, like front and center, particularly in some of the performances. But I did not expect this to go so wildly between oddly little, uh, quotation marks, fun moments and really, really nihilistic, dark moments. Like I'm not going to spoil it, but the end of this thing is pretty wild. And I was kind of laughing and a little bit shocked by where it went. That's a very good thing. Um, it wasn't, impossible to see coming, but you did think that they weren't necessarily going to go where they went, and they really underscore the irony and the black comedy of it, with little moments. Like, this is really good, and it feels like one of those films that I think you would inevitably lose something if you were to try and remake it. I don't know if they've ever tried to remake it. I know this kind of formula has been used a few times, but in this precise way, it's just put together like a really good. It's a really good weird recipe. Like, you're eating stuff thinking, I'm not sure what's in this, and it doesn't quite go. And then you're like, oh, chili and chocolate on the side. I'm kind of digging this. And then something else appears, and you're like, I don't know what this is, but well, it's tasty. It's all coming together, and that is the Candy Snatchers for me. Like, it shouldn't work, and it doesn't all work, but then it comes together and it kind of does. The stuff with the tension and the differences between the three main criminals, like that goes between being pretty decent standard crime movie stuff to then being quite boring, because it's something we've seen so many times before, a criminal gang doing a job and then having these divisions on how they should sort of progress and what they should do. But then, like, you've got the moments with the kid wandering about in the middle, and that just, it's almost as if that snaps your attention back to how delightfully odd the whole thing is, in a really good way. And it goes to that third act and just is nuts in the best way. So I really like this, and I'm glad it was picked. It is a title I've heard of for years, but I can't recall if I've heard people sort of being fans of it, or if it's just one of those cult titles that folk are like, oh yeah, you should see it, but it's, it's just one to mark off the list. Like, I kind of really dug it. It makes choices that feel atypical for this kind of thing. Like, it doesn't necessarily throw in too much of the extra grime, or like gratuitous nudity or moments of abuse that you would normally have filling out the runtime of something like this from this time, which like, I'm surprised Tyler has it as his second favorite. Well, maybe not considering the others, but I thought Tyler, you'd like a bit of extra nastiness, but I think it makes up for that with the tone. It's just, yeah, I mean, it was really good. This was a strong contender for me this week. of out of the four. Nice one.
Yeah. Okay. This was my pick. Dave says they were all my picks. They weren't. I gave these people choices, and they made them. This was my choice.
But
First
you
time
decided
watch.
to buy them.
Yeah, you gave us choices like Jigsaw says, or you could cut your arm off the elbow or lose a leg.
What exactly has Killer Condom ever done to you, Kevin, that made you pick Madman? Hey, I don't know. Yes, I was looking forward to this one, and it was a mild disappointment to me. Just a mild one, but I had expectations that were not met, unfortunately. Like I'd seen I'd seen quite a cool poster shot from the the angle of the grave, and I read the synopsis, so I was expecting Last House on the Left, something along those lines. And then it starts, and you get the little theme tune. I'm like, okay, this is going to be Last House on the Left, and it's not. I think the only thing it takes is that it has an absolute shit show of a tone, which just does not know what the fuck it's doing. It is wildly all over the place. And then once it kicked in and some character motivations become clearer, it started to remind me more of the Italian crime exploitation films. Lots of the stuff that came after Last House on the Left. Really nihilistic, really dim view of humanity stuff. And Rabid Dogs being Mario Bava's best film, as far as I'm concerned, an absolute beast of an Italian crime film. But it didn't pull that off either, because it just didn't want to go far enough. Like, it just kind of all circles back to the tone for me. It's got one foot in the exploitation genre, maybe even just a few times. But the twist with the stepdad is pretty dark, and the stuff with the kid is pretty fucking twisted. And that all really works for me. But the kidnappers, a lot of the scenes with the kidnappers felt like watching the fucking A-Team. There's a scene where they bonk this guy on the head with a bit of wood so they can steal his van. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And I don't mind a bit of humor, because there's a scene where they have to acquire an ear, which is a really, really funny scene. There's a line where she holds up an earring and says, "Another $5," which cracked me up. I don't mind this humor, but the dark humor was what worked. The silly humor, it feels to lighten the tone, and the tone is not dark enough to necessitate that they, brighten it up. It's just not harsh enough. They only really commit to the exploitation thing with the two rape scenes, and you could very easily argue that only one of them was necessary. The first rape scene in this film it just feels like it's there to cause controversy, and it really fucks character development. It's really detrimental to the film, I find. It really damages one of the characters. So I just felt it was quite non-committal, to be honest. I like the cast. I liked Vince. I fucked this up. I wrote notes for you earlier and said about now. Vince Marz as Eddie. I liked that character. I liked that performance. He's the most adult character in it, except at one point he rapes someone completely at random, which really bugged the fucking shit out of me. And I really like Ben Piazza, because he's just very vile. He's just vile, and increasingly vile as his motives come to light. I think everyone does fine in this film. They do what's needed for the film that it is, but the film doesn't really know what it is. I didn't dislike it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed most of it, and I really, really liked the last 15 minutes. Because you're gonna hear me say that again throughout the episode. The last 15 minutes were fucking great, and then the dying seconds were just the most beautiful gallows humor punchline. Just a fantastic way to end the film. But for me, it's an exploitation film, air quotes. And the only thing it seems to exploit is the idea of being an exploitation film. Like it's trying to set itself on the something that it doesn't really have the guts to be. But it's also a film. I think if I go back to watch it again in the future, which I will, because I paid for about 40 quid for the Blu-ray, when I go back to with a clearer idea of what I will enjoy it a lot more. It was just disappointing due to, like I said, expectations not met.
For the record, the Italian crime films you were talking about are often referred to as Poliziotteschi.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it means tough police, tough guy cop, technically.
Yeah, I don't tend to like the police one. I like stinking, amoral characters just being awful for an hour and a half without any cops involved. But
yeah, but that's just what they labeled them all.
Yeah,
as,
yeah.
You know.
What was the other term for them? There was an English term for them.
Well, there's
Eurocrime.
Yeah.
Yeah, they called them Eurocrime. But yeah, I have to pick Rabid Dog sometime soon because that's an absolute beast. It's the sweatiest movie ever made. If you like sweat, that's your boy.
Very sweaty.
Want me to carry on?
Oh, please.
Oh, okay. Then I will discuss Kevin's selection. Again, I don't know what Killer Condom has ever done to you, Kevin, but go with Kevin's selection, Madman, slasher film Madman. I said last week that I'd never seen this week's 4 choices, but that's not true. I forgot about Madman. I've seen it before. I've seen it a couple of times. So I saved that for last because I thought the other 3 films auditioned me to consider Madman as a treat, which I wouldn't normally. Not really what I would. Not how I'd normally feel about it. It was. I'm going to damn it with faint praise now. Its mediocrity was quite comforting this week. It was like the knitwear the characters wear in the film. I wrapped myself up in how mediocrely unsurprising it was, and it just kept me warm. The way I feel about Madman is somewhere in between wanting to discuss it in detail for this podcast, which I'll have to do anyway, and wanting to switch it off before my mind erodes like a child's sandcastle as a tide comes in, which has happened with other films this week. Madman lives in the very centre. Like, I don't love it, I don't hate it, but it's fine. It's fine. I think it's a nice looking film. I think the set design is really strong. Lighting is really atmospheric. The great thing about the set design is it just feels very lived in and real, which really helps. I like the standard fireside exposition scene. I think it's a really atmospheric little scene. I like the killer. Daft as shit, but he's good fun. I like that, even though I said it's very predictable, it's not too predictable to be totally dull, because they throw in odd little, like the late night solo recorder playing, and the dude he's got like Kendall from Pieces vibes. He's wandering blindly around the entire film before he stumbles on something, which I don't even think we get to see. It's just, there's stuff that kind of messes with structure a little bit that kind of keeps you interested, which is good, because a lot of the time this week I have found myself just kind of fading and having to rewatch 15 minutes of a film because I've just kind of stopped paying attention. But I think for the most, I think five minutes is the longest I went zoned out to this film, which is, again, damning with faint praise. I became briefly obsessed with the idea that this film had an eyeball coordinator, because everyone in this film either has enormous or tiny little eyeballs. And then I was imagining this guy backstage like really pissing off the director and like on having small eyeball people share scenes with large eyeball people and arranging the film that way and just becoming a bit of a pain. And then he reads about the hot tub scene and no, you can't do that. those are two large eyeball people. You can't put them in a scene together. He's like a character in a disaster movie. You cannot put those two people in a hot tub together. Their eyes are so large, they're caught in the gravitational pull of each other's eyes and rotate forever and ever and ever, and it happens. And then I came to and realised I'd missed 5 minutes of the film and rewound and watched it again. These films, because some of these films are so it's okay. I shouldn't be mean about it saying it's mediocre because it did keep me entertained, and I'll probably watch it again at some point. You know, I like how comforting in its ordinariness it is, but with just enough little elements, little bits of twisted humour and just oddness that keep it strangely engaging. So, you know, yeah, I like Madman. Madman.
Well, you know, Vinegar Syndrome really likes Madman. You know why? You know what they did last year?
They released it on 4K. I mean, Jesus.
With a novelization.
Oh, did they do a novelization? That would be really boring.
Hired someone to write a novelization of it. Apparently.
That's crazy shit.
Apparently. Now, I haven't read it, so I don't know. They bring in ideas from the sequel that the filmmakers had worked on and then just never got to in it.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it is.
Well, novelizations they can get pretty crazy with shit. So I'm half interested.
There's a Madman book.
Yay! Well, I'll be picking that. Picking that for next week. We'll go and buy a copy. Don't cry.
You want to go T or shall I?
Nah, go ahead.
All right. So, I like this less than Craig does. I am bored by it, like, a lot. I like slashers. I've seen a lot of slashers, and there's just little in it to really, you know, there's little in it to recommend it. It's just kind of there. It's not the worst. You can do worse. Like I don't care for most of the cast except for I suppose she's our final girl, sort of, Betsy, who is played by Galen Ross, who, of course, everyone knows Galen Ross is from best known for one of the greatest horror films of all time. And the fact that Craig didn't mention it kind of blows my mind. Anyway, Galen Ross is best known. Well, let's not. She's the lead in Dawn of the Dead. And, you know, I mean, it is definitely a lesser performance from her compared to what she's known for. And the final, you know, confrontation towards the end is just way drawn out. It doesn't have any tension. There's no good kills. It's just kind of there. It's a lesser. It's a lesser slasher right in the middle of the cycle. I don't dislike it. I don't like it. It's just there. And it wastes a horror great with a bad role that you only care about because, you know, she is who she is.
Is that you, Dave?
That's me.
I think this movie fucking sucks. It's boring. It's dull. The kills are fucking lame. The killer looks goofy as fuck. Dude looks like a Hobbit version of Bigfoot from Harry and Henderson.
Hold on. That shocks me because he is such a T guy. I mean, he looks like he stepped out of a Rob Zombie video.
I mean, maybe if fucking Rob Zombie made Harry and the Hendersons type movies, he looked fucking stupid. But the characters are terrible. I had no idea that was a girl from Dawn of the Dead. I totally forgot about that. Characters suck. I mean, I don't really care about acting in an 80s slasher. Just give me some good kills and I'm good. But this can't even deliver that. I guess it's got like an okay atmosphere for like the first 15 minutes or so, but it loses that quick too. And that fucking theme song, man, Jesus Christ, it's the actual worst. I'd rather listen to that Tom Hanks song over and over again for the rest of my fucking life than ever hear that Madman Marz song ever again. Awful. I mean,
I'm sure that wish will be granted.
just go watch like The Burning or any sleepaway camp movie, and that includes Return to Sleepaway Camp, Cheerleader Camp, fucking Bloody Murder 2. Go watch that instead. It's better than this. Just name drop any camp slasher movie, and I guarantee it's better than Madman. Yeah, this movie is terrible, just awful.
You're all heathens, absolute heathens. That's
Hey, I said it was comforting.
yeah. Well, most of you are heathens. No, Craig, you're a heathen because you made us pick this whole selection. So accept your heathen ways. I recognize that Madman isn't a very good movie. Not great, but it's one of those movies that was one of the first I saw because people older than me had seen it and had full memories of it. So I saw it.
Wait,
on
so we're supposed to
VHS.
rate it on your nostalgia? I don't think that's a fair criteria, dude.
No, not at all. You're not supposed to rate on my nostalgia. I say I do get it. I do get people watching it and it not having like a great reputation. I still think there are moments there that are good. Like I always thought this was a later entry in the slasher cycle though. I thought it was, it's a lesser slasher film. I thought it came after the real boom time had come and gone. But this is 81. I forgot it was still in that, I would say, that sort of little golden period. I actually think Madman looks fine. He's a mad woods dwelling killer. It looks good. I like the fact that you get that campfire story at the start. You get the it's a really brief backstory. It's all you need. It's stupid and it serves its purpose. Obviously some asshole kid causes everything that happens. So yeah, like I hope he feels guilty for the rest of his life that Madman Marz has allowed him to have. And I mean, there aren't many great moments of tension or kills, but there are one or two sort of decent bits. I think this film was remembered by a lot of people for the head in the bonnet moment, the car bonnet kill, and that is obviously its centerpiece. I think that's a good effect when it happens. I don't rate the cast like for as good as she is being a pivotal figure in Dawn of the Dead. I don't think Gillian Ross is great in this. She's not terrible, but she's never been one of my favorite final girls. Really, I have a soft spot for Madman. I think it just checks enough of the boxes for the sweet spot for me for standard enjoyable slasher movie fare from this time. The setting in the woods with the camp as well, the killer and the imagery of the killer, the cheesy song that plays about 3 or 4 times that I knew would drive Tyler mental once it got in his ears. I actually thought you heard it more than you hear it because I remembered it being constant. So yeah, I'd imagine it was maybe a bit less painful for Tyler than I thought it was going to be, even though it was still painful for him. It could be much better. There could have been more kills. There could have been more like gratuitous content just thrown around here. Maybe a slightly better cast that you would actually care about. like you end up caring more about or liking the guy who's off screen for 80% of the movie more than any of the other councillors. The guy gets a phone call, is like, "Oh, trouble at the camp. I'm on my way back. Let's try to enjoy a few beers in town."
Oh, he's
But
the
I
best character easily.
yeah, he's great, and he's the one that
Starts some
puts the fear
shit,
of God.
bounces.
Yeah, exactly. Scares the shit out of him, and he's like, "Right, I'm off for a night of cards and beer," and then his due to come back later on. But I just, there are some films that you can't disconnect from that time when you were, first introduced to them or first watching it. And this for me, this was a VHS treat for me. So I probably saw Madman before I'd seen, certainly before I'd seen the better installments in the Friday the 13th series, possibly even the first one. Like, I'm pretty sure one of my first slasher movies was Friday the 13th Part 2. So it was just that way when you had random tapes that you went through. And Madman was in that kind of rotation. I loved it. I still really like it, even though now I've downgraded it to a solid Kevin 7. I just I think it's good, but I did know that you guys weren't going to necessarily, have the same attachment to it that I do. And I did just hope that it wasn't going to be like too painful for you. Apart from Tyler, because that's funny. It's like if the earworm drives Tyler mental, then that is a real bonus.
Will you be seeking out the novelisation?
I mean, I would love to find the novelization. That sounds great to me. There's so much more. It is like when they do tell the tale and there's the backstory. It's really basic, and I think it's really effective. Like when you see those axe chops going down, it's kind of some of the best stuff in the movie because you get things that are much tamer after that, really. But yeah, I would definitely be down for a novelization.
Lost in the
Let
Woods
me
with the Man and the Stars.
yeah, but let me move on to Tyler's pick, because obviously
Wink.
he went for Thriller, A Cruel Picture, yeah, which I hadn't seen before. I've seen the poster for it with Christina Lindbergh, with the gun and the eye patch. I didn't know what it was about, and I mean, wow. Just the description on IMDb is sort of accurate, and also, I don't know, it's wild. It says there, a young woman rendered mute after a childhood sexual assault undertakes training in firearms, martial arts, and driving to wreak vengeance upon those who have forced her into prostitution. That is what this film is about, but there's a lot more of the runtime dedicated to the forced prostitution part of the story. Written and directed by Born Vibenius, who is did they do anything else? This is enough. This is kind of a mic drop of a film. So if they didn't do anything else, they were just like, yeah, I've given you this. This is like, yeah, this is nasty, graphic, unpleasant stuff that I knew within about 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah, of course this is a favourite of Tyler's. It's another film I wouldn't watch while eating any snacks, because
Rice pudding.
you've got the main
Yogurt.
subject matter, and then you've got these hardcore sex shots inserted with that's where I messaged. I was like, well, I've seen enough winking bumhole for today. Thanks, Tyler. That's me watching your choice again. It's really unpleasant. the fact that the guy kidnaps this young woman, and then it's all about heroin and stuff, and then he's being obviously really horrible and abusive, but then on the other hand, he does say she can have Mondays off. I'm like, every Monday off? That's a long weekend for some. And she'll get double doses of free stuff on Sunday. Like, it's sounding more like a party by the minute, really. It's wild that he is the main villain and he sounds better than many bosses in the workplace today. This was like, I can't say I liked this because, like, I think the iconography of it, the poster and stills that you would see of Lindbergh in character are better than how it plays out on screen. But it is like, kind of everything's packed in here. A bit of a bit of stunt driving, some action with guns, the martial arts stuff. It's a real mishmash, but to me, it doesn't have the, like, there was more fun in the whiplash of the tones in the Candy Snatchers than there is here. It's, it, because it is that kind of horrible, and there's the really overt sequences of abuse on display. It's just not one I could settle down and have fun with, and yet all of the standard genre stuff that's thrown in feels like it's meant to make it add up to fun certainly for the second half of the movie, and that doesn't quite work for me. But I did appreciate the attempt to put in a bit of everything and have that done. It just starts from such a nasty central premise that it can't really, like, you can't get to the end of this thing. Oh, well, at least that was fun. That was a satisfying resolution for some of the characters. I mean, I know Tyler will get to the end and be quite happy. He's got his popcorn, his feet up. Chloe's sitting beside him, traumatized on the sofa. Tyler's just like, oh.
I got this image of him sitting there happily eating a while jizz flying everywhere, just not a care in the world.
Like having a carton of yogurt drink.
Oh, it's so true, though.
Don't everybody jump in at once.
I'll go. I'm happy to go. Again, another first-time watch. I know not everyone watched by Vinegar Syndrome, but I have their super special edition twin Blu-ray with Thriller picture and the non-hard version. They call her One Eye. I foolishly went for the fact. I wish, like, the first 85 minutes of this film were even half as good as the last 15 minutes of this film. Because for me, personally, the last 15 minutes of this film are unimpeachable. They are fucking superb. Like, the location, the cinematography, the sound design, the score, which I hated quite a lot of times through this film, just fit the tone perfectly. And Limber, she's so iconic, but there's more. There's that ending it feels like the culmination of that character's journey. I mean, it reaches this kind of near biblical tone of, like, epic vengeance. It's absolutely just a fantastic ending. I think it's a little bit of an opportunity because I think she should speak her only word of the film in that scene, because we've been told earlier it was psychological, not physical the thing that caused her muteness. So I think it would have been quite interesting for her one film to get that horse taking its steps. But otherwise, I think honestly, the last 15 minutes of this film is fucking is stunning. I loved it. The preceding 85 minutes are a mixed bag of tits and cum. Like the hardcore scenes, you only got these. They're either A, titillation, which would be awful, B, just plain exploitation, controversy, and C, a really bad attempt at being creative and artistic. And I think most likely it is B disguised as C. Because like I can see some very, very, very clumsy symbolism with the heroin injections and, for want of a better term, the meat injection. Like you're mixing those two together for symbolism, even though it's very badly done. I think the hard things are just like it doesn't matter whether they had the best of intentions, which I doubt. It's too grotty, and I think the first half of this film is just rinse, repeat, grotty, just grotty, and just kind of dull. Apart from greatest eye trauma ever filmed. Holy fucking shit! That beats the zombie flesh eaters eye trauma for me. That was incredible. It picks up a lot in the second. You know, it's a rape revenge film, and the revenge is generally more palatable than the rape, and that's true here. Like, I was fine with the badass cheese, but I think it's performed well by Lindbergh, and I like the idea of someone absolutely dedicating themselves to proper vengeance. Like they are not. I like in it. Like the director's a little too in love with the shotgun squib effects. I don't know whether he just discovered these, but the amount of slow motion, he really was in love with them. But they have weight and they have impact to them that I thought was pretty impressive. But what sets the second half? What makes the second half so strong for me is two factors, and they're both performances. Haven't written down the actor's name. So Swedish Alan Rickman is the central antagonist. I mean, here's a walk red flag. Yeah, we all agree with that. You're not going home with him after that scene in the restaurant. But she does, and she gets to know the real him, and he's foul, like crude, foul character, and it's not played at all winky. It's played as a genuinely vicious, nasty piece of work, and there's something extra pleasant about it. His position in the film being just business. He's not indulging in any of the other stuff. It is just about turning a buck, and it kind of, I found that extra foul. But the largest point I enjoy the film is Christina Lindbergh. I think she is genuinely phenomenal. I really do. Like, I would forget that character was, because she has communicated throughout the inner journey so perfectly that I'd forget no words were used. Like, she plays this kind of total of humanity, like lots of it, some of it taken in the first half. She abandons willingly herself in the second, for her vengeance. She plays that so fucking well without speaking a single word. It just impressed the fuck out of me. And she looks incredible as well. The look of in the second half is iconic as fuck. But it's that performance. When she takes her seat at the very end, her little audience seat at the end, I really feel like she, an actress, taken me on a journey that this film would have failed to pull off without her. I think she is fucking fantastic. And I watched a lot more often than I watched the previous 85. But, I ended up with a lot of that comes down to Lindbergh. It won me over. I don't think I'll be watching the Jizz Cut again anytime soon, but I'll definitely give They Call Her One Eye a spin at some point. But yeah, Lindbergh, fucking awesome. In the last 15 minutes, fucking beautiful.
Well, I'll agree with the last 15 minutes being good, but that's where I stop. This is just fucking boring as shit. It's just fucking dull. Lindbergh is fine, but Tony isn't vicious. He's goofy as fuck. He writes letters on his fucking typewriter to everyone he abducts family with a fucking return address. I mean, this is a dumb fucking movie. It is brain damage dumb, and that's my problem with it. It is insultingly stupid. Tony is goofy as fuck and makes no sense in what he does at any point except they need him to be awful. Madeline goes to revenge school and apparently learns shit she doesn't need or use at all. At all. The fucking slow motion is atrocious. The only good shot is the eye gouging scene, and that's because they stole a corpse to cut its fucking eye.
Whoa. I did not know that.
They stole I believe the woman had committed suicide. They stole her corpse to stab it in the eye. And that is the only good moment in this film. I enjoy her revenge. And yeah, Lindbergh looks great. The stills look fantastic. And if this was just the stills, we might have a decent film. But instead, we have one of the most boring rape revenge films I've ever seen, especially because it has no conviction. There's no emotional impact. I have seen so many fucking rape revenge movies over the years now, and I need fucking something, and this has nothing. This is one of the most vapid, desperate to make money pieces of shit I have ever seen. You thought that it was, B mixed with C, but it's just B. They stuck the shittiest fucking porn shots they could make into the movie. It looks bad. It doesn't match with the other shots just because it's Swedish and they knew they could get it sold in America because at that time Swedish porn was popular. But they're shitty shots of bad fucking. If you're going to make me watch fucking in a rape movie, at least either make it really bad fucking or make it really good fucking and not indifferent fucking. And it's indifferent fucking. It's just fucking dull. This movie doesn't deserve half of its fucking legacy that it's given. It came out at a time where it's surrounded by superior rape revenge films. I mean, I Spit on Your Grave came out a few years later. A ton of other ones did. I give it credit for being ahead of the game, but it's bad. It's bad and it's dull and it lacks any wit or conviction or reason to bother with it. It's better than Bo Arn Vibranus's follow-up feature, which I am not going to say the title of because Tyler will make us watch it if he knows more about it. Because it is a very T film. In the kind of way that will make the rest of us, very upset. But this is, it's just, it's there. It's nothing. It's fluff. It's fluff that wants to be seen as something more than it is. And it fails on every fucking level, except a few shots in the last 20 minutes of Lindbergh wandering around with a gun. I wish it was better. I want to like it, but nah, pass from me.
You're referring to Breaking Point, are you not, Dave? Right?
Yeah, I am. He only made 3.
I know of its existence. I know what that is. I think I have a bootleg DVD of that I got at a convention.
Yeah. Think of Falling Down, but more rapey.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. So yeah, this is an all-time favorite for me. I know that's like a huge shock. I've said it many, many times on this podcast. I think it's one of the greatest exploitation rape revenge films ever. It's right there with the original I Spit on Your Grave and The Last House on the Left. 2 films I hold very near and dear, which should say a lot about Thriller because, yeah, I love this movie. I feel like ever since Tarantino referenced it in Kill Bill, a lot of folks go into it thinking it's going to be like an action-packed revenge film. And while, yes, it is most certainly a revenge movie, it's not an action-packed one, which is what I love about it. It's an ugly, slow, bleak, hopeless little movie. A grimy drama about a girl forced into drug addiction and prostitution that eventually turns into a revenge film in its final act. I like the inserted penetration shots for all the reasons Craig mentioned, all three of them, because I think it's all three of them. I also think it adds to the grimy, nasty atmosphere it's going for perfectly. So for that reason, I love it. The eyeball scene has always lived rent-free in my head forever. Just, it's so fucking brutal. I knew about the corpse thing, but it's just still, it's fucking brutal. I fucking love the slow motion. I think this has some of the best use of slow motion in cinema. I honestly, I can't express how much I love the slow motion in this fucking movie, but I love slow
There's a
motion.
shot when she's fucking up the cops, and one of them does a sort of like back cartwheel with blood spraying out of his mouth, which looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does. I love slow motion in general, so it just works for me. And I think this is some of the best use of it in this movie. The sound design is excellent. I love the soundtrack. Christina Lindbergh is great. I mean, she's absolutely gorgeous too, but she sells this character so well without ever saying a fucking word. And yeah, she's just so good in this. I love her in this movie. But yeah, Thriller, it's a masterpiece. For me, it's a fucking masterpiece. I adore this movie. It's, like I said, I personally consider it one of the greatest exploitation films of all time, made in one of the best eras of cinema, the grimy ass 70s, baby. I love everything about it. 10 hairy assholes out of 10, 10 saggy ball sacks out of 10, 10 goopy jizz shots out of 10. Is that me going into Girl School Screamers?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Well, going from my favorite movie of the week into the absolute worst. Girl School Screamers. Say that 12 times fast. 7 college girls spend the weekend at an elegant estate, which begins as a fun-filled adventure, but ends in a nightmare of gut-wrenching terror. That plot lies. This movie also sucked. I blind bought this way, way back in the day when Movie Stop was still a thing. Remember Movie Stop, guys? Yeah. That's how long ago I bought this. I saw that
fucking movie stop. I need to vent real quick first. I rented The Suffering on PS2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then before I was done with my week, I got a call saying, "You've got to return it now, or there'll be late fee, or we'll charge you for the full game." Right?
Yep.
Right. So I returned it the day before it closed, and everybody just got to keep the shit they had. I could have kept the game. I didn't know I could have just kept the fucking game. I didn't know they were closing. Those bastards.
That's how long ago that was when I bought this. But I bought this thinking it was that exploitation movie with Wendy O. Williams from the Plasmatics. Boy, was I fucking wrong. The actual best thing about this movie is its title, which at the same time is also incredibly misleading because Girl School Screamers sounds like the perfect mix of just gory sleaze and tits, which this has none of. I mean, sure, there's a couple like mildly okay gore moments for like 25 seconds, which feel like they were added in during post, which I think they were, because this feels like such a PG rated movie, which I guess isn't a bad thing if it was entertaining, but like Madman, it's boring as fuck. The acting is horrendous and not even a fun kind of horrendous you can mock. I mean, the cast is just fucking incompetent. I mean, I see what it was trying to do. It was kind of going for like that old Italian dark house horror movie feel, but it just never hits that mark because this director and the script is just garbage. Why Vinegar Syndrome would waste money to release this is just totally beyond me. This could have easily been left forgotten and nobody would have cared. Yeah, this
looks stunning, and it looks like it was made yesterday, which is just incredible.
I mean, I guess I see why they would release it, but the DVD I watched looks fucking horrendous. The Trauma DVD is just, it's awful looking, but and not a good awful looking. It's horribly it's a terribly transferred DVD. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this movie at all. No, not at all.
Kevin. Well, I'll jump in and we'll hope Kevin's back by the time I'm done. Yeah, girls. Oh, you're right. Girls School Screamers. It fooled me pretty good. It fooled me pretty good because the opening scene is solid. We got poor little Tyler looking around the castle. It really felt the film was directly mocking you, Tyler, with the weird ghostly voice going Tyler. Kind of amused me. But that opening scene's good. He discovers the ghost, and it's got a kind of cool translucent effects, all the busting through the skin. That ghost looked really cool. Like I was like, okay, this is a solid part. More, please, more. And there would be no more of that cool shit for over 60 minutes. Like there are at least 60 minutes of where you just watch teenage girls watch a nun sleep, and it's even more boring. It is so dull. There are the characters are just not there. There are two characters. There's Sister Urban, and I repeat, she is unconscious for at least percent of her runtime, but still a standout. And a character called Elizabeth, who is the group personality haver, and is much more interesting. One of the things I like the most about her, Elizabeth's kind of casual degeneracy saved her in the end of the film, which I thought was a nice little twist. But the rest of the cast are just cardboard cutouts, and they're just very bland. And I think the only thing more bland than the characters is the mystery at the centre. It's such a dull fucking mystery. Like if I hide in the desk, book was on my head, I don't immediately think to myself, oh, I should probably read this. I shout, fuck off, book, and put the book somewhere else, and then go and do some teenage stuff. I'm not reading that goddamn fucking book. But she reads a diary and everything off. It's all very dull, and I didn't want to know anything. It's incredible that this wasn't a slasher film when it was made. Like, Troma did indeed add all the both slasher elements later, all the gore. So this was just the girls watching a nun sleep at one stage, which horrific. And I can see why they tried to make it look horrific, but they failed like dismally. The lighting is fucking horrible. Like every scene looks like the direct car onto the set, the headlights on full beam. There's like a real lack of filmmaking finesse like throughout the fucking thing. It is badly made, very dull for the most part. Like the synth score, pretty cool. I enjoyed that. And again, like so many films as well, the finale was solid. Like I like a discovering all the bodies scene in a slasher film. All gathered in a row like maids. There were some fun effects as well. You know, I enjoyed the last like 10 minutes or so, and then I started to think that's such cheat. These goddamn fucking films, they're all like the shit ever. To It Was Fine pipeline personified. This I ended up thinking just because the last 10 minutes were good, but I didn't mind this film. I have to remind myself that there was so much boring. There was so much boring just because I enjoyed the end. I have to remember. So much boring. But in the end, it was it was bearable in the end, I guess. But I don't know, it's just a dull film, and it was made about less dull with fairly bloodless murder scenes later on. No. It's I wish Troma could have given it a month, and just everyone involved failed dismally.
Yeah, like this was really daft and really light, and again really tame for what I thought was going to be just a fun slasher. But I did make you all watch Madman, so I wasn't being too picky. And I didn't. It's that silly that I couldn't hate it. I just thought it was it was entertainingly stupid, and that was okay for me at this point. There are many slashers better than it. Some of them going along very similar sort of territory. The whole thing gets much more amusing when the main the lead character's boyfriend and her mate turns up, and they just wander about until someone's ready to be killed again. So I like that, particularly because the boyfriend ended up going there because he did an extra shift of some very heavy research, going through pages and pages of newspaper clippings until he found a page that basically said, "Oh, remember your girlfriend spending a night at the house of death." So that was good. I mean, that's some top-notch investigative reporting there. The guy's basically Kolchak, is what I'm saying. And this was an extra feature-length Night Stalker episode that I really, really enjoyed. It's dumb. I thought it was going to be more fun because it does do that thing that a lot of these films do, and Craig's already mentioned this. Like, a lot of it's just too dull, and yeah, it pulls out a few stops at the end. But if you're watching it in a certain frame of mind, as I was, because again, I knew I'd made you watch Madman. It's just enjoyably silly. Like they also keep moving that old lady around as if she's just like, as if she's wandered in confused from next door, and she's meant to be the one who's there, like the head of the group doing that. And she's basically one step away from saying, "Are we having custard tonight, dear?" Oh,
She's asleep for such
I
a
don't
large
know where
portion of
I'm
a
going
movie,
for
and
a
then she
walk
goes and
this evening.
prays, which saves
It was
everyone, and it cuts back and she's gone back to sleep. Like, she cannot be trusted. She's a lazy bitch.
it's it's not like unlikable though, because it's so just amusingly silly. So yeah, I kind of like this. It's another film as well where, like, the poster, and I'm sure probably the VHS cover back in the day, and maybe Vinegar Syndrome has that artwork. Like, it promises so much more than you get. This looming monster and all these screaming girls and blades and everything. You're like, oh wait, somebody went to run out of the door and it wouldn't open for them. That's it. The end is particularly enjoyable with a lot of really dodgy fake blood just smeared on people. Like, am I misremembering, or did you get the typical sort of slasher movie bodies piled up in one section there, but they just had dollops of blood on them? But did that not
Yes.
include someone who should no longer have their head?
Yes.
Because I was like, yeah. And then someone was electrocuted into a puddle. But it's okay because they're sitting
Well,
at
that's
the
what
end
happens
and
when you add
someone's daubed
the
a bit of
slasher
red
scenes like
liquid
you
on their
do after
face.
production as then.
So that's what
You kind of you make a few little hiccups for yourself.
yeah. But that to me added to the charm of it. I was just like, this is quite inept for a lot of it, but in a way that I found endearing. So yeah, I had fun with it. But if you were to rewatch it, I'm pretty sure you would just be like, "Oh God, this is dull." Like, give me a film where something happens for part of the first 60 minutes.
Well,
Wait, Dave, sorry. Why
no,
did you pick this one? Is this
It's because it's the only
is this
one in
like
my
a
options that I knew
fond
nothing about,
one
and
that
I didn't
you've
want
had in your
Tyler to have
memory
a good
box?
time. I mean, that's if give me a
Right,
second,
that's
and
fair.
I will walk you through my thought process on this one. Let me find the picture. Okay, here it is. Here it
I
is.
was certain we were getting Gorgo.
No. I like Dead Heat. Tyler doesn't deserve Dead Heat. We've seen Death by Temptation. None of you deserve Deadly Games or Demon Rat. Nope, none of you deserve Dominique or Dolly Dearest. Dial D for Demons. Devil. Nobody deserves Devil Times 5. I have a soft spot for it, but nobody deserves that. It's too early in the year for Don't Open Till Christmas. Drop Dead Fred gives me a headache. Goodbye 20th Century. You guys aren't good enough. Ghost Nursing is terrible. We've seen Grave Secrets. You guys don't deserve A Gun for Jennifer or Grave Robbers, so that's it. That left Girls' School Screamers.
What do you mean what we don't deserve? Because they're so good. Yeah?
No.
Yeah? Yeah?
No, because they won't make you cry. That's
I spent
what
hundreds
I
of
mean.
pounds on these, Dave. Tell me they're good.
Oh, no, that'd be a lie. I love you, buddy, and I'm not going to lie to you. I love you too much to lie to you. Death by Temptation is fantastic. It's why we've already watched it. Dead Heat is a blast. That's why Tyler doesn't get to watch it on this podcast until I can't think of anything else to pick randomly one week. This is a movie I have watched. It wasn't my least favorite this week. Wasn't my favorite. I don't even think this was in the middle. I don't get it. Like, I am all for the whole let's go put on a show attitude for B movies, especially horror films, but I don't get what show they were putting on. Because it's only 85 minutes, and for 70 of them nothing happens. And none of the girls are like memorable or have personalities. And then there's an extended flashback sequence of two people that I don't give a fuck about. I don't fucking care about their weird incestuous relationship. So, why? Give me a reason to care. I enjoyed the opening. I did like that. When Tyler goes into the house, that was pretty good. It didn't connect to fuck all, but that was pretty good. And the rest is just kind of, yeah, I don't get what the fuck this movie was. Maybe there was something more that got cut out when Trauma made it a trauma, but what we got is not, like, I don't have anything to say about it. I didn't hate it, unlike the rest of you. I actually adored Sharon Christopher as Elizabeth, but she's the only one that is worth any kind of dealing with. The rest are just like, they're just there. Why does the doctor return in the
good?
end?
I truly believed it.
What was that?
I truly believe that nun was asleep. Just epic performance.
Same. Me too. Why does the doctor come back in the end? Like, what the fuck is going on in half this movie?
Yeah, I don't know what that was with the doctor.
Why are they like, stuff just happens and it doesn't make sense and then it's done and I don't fucking care. It's like, okay, great. Why did the one get in the obviously, haunted evil car? What the fuck are you thinking? Why would you think your friends are in that? It's just there, and I don't even understand if the villain was a ghost or just still alive. What the fuck was going on? I don't know. I don't care. I don't care enough to know. This is me. I always want to know. I always needed to make sense, and this time I didn't care, and I didn't need to care or want to care, and it's there. I saw it. Maybe if it was more upbeat or something, it'd be fun, but it's just kind of a long drag that doesn't do anything well. So, but it didn't make anybody happy either. So I'm fine with this choice. I went for the middle ground, and that's where we were. Yeehaw. It's time to pick one, and for me, it's Candy.
I'm going with Thriller, A Cruel Picture. That for Limbo's performance in 15 minutes.
Yep, Thriller, A Cruel Picture, all the way.
Ooh,
I'm going
Split.
for
this
We
was
all
Candy
made
as
Tyler
well.
so happy.
We did.
That wasn't the point of this special.
that was,
That was a
not
mini
the point.
Tyler special, kind of.
It was. It really was.
I didn't. I got the assignment. I made no one happy. That's what I was aiming for. Actually, I was aiming for that. I was hoping it'd be the gem and the diamond in the rough they release every once in a while, but no. So next week it is Tyler's turn to pick, and after this week, I'm kind of dreading it. So what do you guys got for us?
Do you want to
I
go
want
first?
Tyler to
Greg, or
go
you want me
first.
you
No,
want me
my pick is dependent on your pick. Because when you finally pick a Baby Invasion, I feel I want to pair with it.
Well, I just watched Baby Invasion, but so I'm not picking that this week. But I am picking something that's just typical Tyler flavored stuff. I'm picking a movie about teenagers who like to party and fuck each other. We're watching Bang Gang, a modern love story from 2015.
Okay.
That is a title.
Well, Craig, what's your film that
we
I'm
are
voting for next week?
to 1974 with Bloody Sam Peckinpah to watch Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia.
Nice.
Well, there's a sweep in the making, except Tyler.
Maybe.
I might get Tyler with it.
Yeah.
Never know.
Nothing gets Tyler off of his fucking teens, which can be taken multiple ways.
When you look up Bang Gang on IMDb, it recommends Clip and We, which is two movies that I've picked recently. So, well, Clip wasn't recent, but We
Fuck
was.
it, French. What is it with you and these fucking shitty French movies, dude?
Oh, I love French movies, man. You know me.
I do. I don't know why you keep doing this to us. And you
don't have to worry
that,
about why. With Tyler, every time it is his passion for this awful film that he's presented us with. Always.
But I don't even have to watch his movies anymore. Like it's the same movie. Okay, $20 is I can read from what was the Belgian one?
Okay, you got to be more specific in Belgian.
Belgian, where they had the trailer in the middle of
Some
nowhere.
of the jeers and the boners and
Yeah.
was that not specific enough? with the rapings
they
and
killed
the
one by they murdered one of their friends with the surprise.
Where they're putting the thing up their butt and they have to
I
guess
still
which
don't
dick it is.
understand.
Yes.
She knew something was going in her butt. I don't know why she reacted like that. Yeah. If I can reuse those notes, I want to see if you guys notice.
Well, this one does have a sex game involving teenagers, but it doesn't have one where you put it up the butt, so it might not be able to reuse it. Maybe.
You know what? Just for that, you can give them the business, T.
We're on Instagram, Raiders_of_the_podcast. We're on Facebook, where I sometimes remember to post stuff on Wednesdays. We have a YouTube channel where you can like, subscribe, and comment on Kevin's awesome videos weekly. We have a Discord. We have a Blue Sky. We have an email where you can email us at raidersofthepodcast@gmail.com. And you can get in touch with me to ruin your relationship by making you watch testicle heist Nazi movies. So just hit me up anytime. I charge, but and that's it.
Hey.
As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me, guys. I guess.
Thank you, Vinegar Syndrome.
Thank you, Vinegar
for the gifts.
Syndrome.
to be received. You guys are
Just
great.
keep giving.
Yeah.
I'll
Bye.
talk to you next week.
Yeah.
Though she tried her best to change it, she could never rearrange that troubled mind or change the time. Money is the root of all happiness. I hate those old expressions, but it's true. It overcomes